Hey y'all, what's up? It's Friday, so I'm gonna keep it black, but I'm gonna keep it brief. So I really do think Joe be trying to put his best foot forward. When he ran for president back in 2020, we were scared. We didn't have too many choices, but Joe was always saying the right things, especially when it came to appealing to us Negroes, since Negroes were the most emotionally charged and motivated to ensure the leader of the free world had our freedom in mind too. One of those things he said during his campaign was that he would automatically expunge all prior cannabis use convictions. Automatically means as soon as, immediately, without process. We about 3 years in the game, my boy. And it was not until last week on October 6th that he announced his plans to address marijuana-related offenses. The plan is threefold. 1, he's going to issue blanket pardons for all federal convictions of simple marijuana possession. 2, he is going to encourage all governors to do the same. LOL. 3, currently marijuana is scheduled at the same level as heroin and LSD in the Controlled Substances Act. I'm sorry, what? Along with fentanyl and methamphetamines. Did y'all see the same commercials I did? So it's going to ask the Secretary of Health and Human Services and the Attorney General to change their mind. Biden is taking all these actions in an attempt to aid people who have been denied employment, housing, and educational opportunities due to these convictions, you know, systemic oppression. And more than that, the war on drugs is what made marijuana a target. It was already made taboo as its recreational use became closely associated with Mexican immigrants in the early 1900s. But in the 70s, hippies and black people became more publicly associated with the drug. And the Nixon administration had a field day with this because they said verbatim that the anti-war left and black people were their enemies. So if they could criminalize the drug, they could arrest our leaders, raid their homes, disrupt our meetings, and vilify us to the public. Anyway, the problem with Biden's plan is that it's based on too much asking. Issuing federal pardons sounds good, but federal drug possession charges only apply when a person is caught traveling with drugs across state lines or traveling with it into the country. And only 6,500 people have received federal charges over simple possession of weed from 1992 to 2021. However, from 2010 to 2018 alone, 7.2 million Americans were arrested for simple marijuana possession. And black people are 3.73 times more likely to be arrested for such, even though white, black, and brown Americans use it at similar rates. White people actually seem to use it a little bit more than us though. But what this means is that the states still have the most power and jurisdiction over whether any Americans will actually get to reap the benefits of this plan. The governor's wasting too much money on marijuana arrests and making too much money off marijuana arrests. They not going for it. And the Department of Justice said this pardon is cute, but it will not actually expunge any of these people's records. So what are we talking about?
Okay, so boom, we talking about the fact that Big Daddy Biden got big hopes and dreams.
Is that legally hype?
But depending on the state, even if the governors do fall in line, these folks still gonna have to disclose a criminal record on a job application with or without a pardon, which is why we need these state governors to get on board with the mission, because if they gave these folks an expungement, they could be living their best life out here as free and functioning members of society.
Because here's the thing, recidivism ain't no hoe. When individuals with criminal records apply for jobs or even school, they find it very difficult to get past the application process because since their rights have been taken away, it's completely legal to discriminate against them. And black and brown people are disproportionately disallowed second chances on a good day with no criminal record. So when these people find themselves with very few options and impossible limitations set upon them by parole officers, they find themselves back in jail. It's going to take more than pardons to actually put a dent in the decades of disenfranchisement that's affected black people's voting rights and their economic power. So what does this mean? That Joe is a liar?
I wouldn't say that. I think the reality is that now that black folks are paying attention to politics, we're seeing a difference between people who just talking just to be talking, trying to get your vote, and what the president actually has the power to do. Over half the people in the United States, both on the left and the right side of the aisle, agree to some form of marijuana legalization. Therefore, if and when the citizens take their power back, we are more likely to see more action on the state level with regards to government pardons for marijuana possession. And it's the thing, we don't handle business like Big Bank P over here, okay? Big Daddy Joe, he can't just be running around doing whatever, because why?
We have checks and balances.
You learned about it in the 8th grade, and now you're seeing it happen in real life. Biden is consistently getting pushback on everything he said he wanted to do, because the Senate has a say-so, and so does the big homies at the Supreme Court.
I get what you're saying, but this man sat up in the office with Obama for 8 years, so how he ain't know that?